Welcome. Today, we're diving into the current global regulatory guidelines on TSE and BSE. We'll explore how different regions approach these complex diseases, what rules are in place to keep us safe, and why understanding these guidelines matters for public health worldwide. Let's get started. Today, we're diving into TSE and BSE, two terms that might sound complex but are crucial to understand. TSE stands for transmissible spongiform encephalopathies, a group of fatal brain diseases caused by infectious prion proteins. Some well-known examples include bovine spongiform encephalopathy, or mad cow disease, scrapie in sheep and Creutzfeldt, Jakob disease in humans. BSE, specifically, affects cattle and is linked to contaminated feed. This matters a lot in pharmaceuticals, where animal-derived ingredients or biological materials could potentially carry these risks. When we talk about high-risk materials, we're referring to things like gelatin, bovine serum, tallow derivatives, enzymes, and animal tissue extracts. These substances can carry risks if not handled properly, especially concerning prion diseases like TSE and BSE. That's why guidelines are crucial. They protect patient safety, prevent prion transmission, ensure animal materials are sourced safely, and standardize risk control worldwide. These standards impact multiple industries, including pharmaceuticals, vaccines, biologics, medical devices, and even cosmetics. It's a broad but vital scope. We're looking at the European Medicines Agency guidelines, focused on minimizing the risk of transmitting animal spongiform encephalopathy agents through medicinal products. The main guideline highlights several key requirements: scientific risk assessment, tracing the source animals, evaluating country risk, assessing tissue infectivity, and qualifying suppliers. Regulators expect preference for countries with negligible BSE risk, strict avoidance of specified risk materials, and thorough documentation. The EDQM supports this with certificates of suitability, confirming compliance with these standards. Let's take a closer look at the FDA's guidance around transmissible spongiform encephalopathies, or TSE, and bovine spongiform encephalopathies, BSE. This guidance applies to a range of products, injectable drugs, vaccines, cell culture materials, and biological manufacturing processes. The FDA focuses on controlling the use of animal-derived materials, ensuring manufacturing controls are tight, and prioritizing safety across biological products, vaccines, and blood products. Key expectations include strict source control, thorough risk assessments, qualifying suppliers carefully, documenting countries of origin, and maintaining robust traceability systems. The World Health Organization sets clear guidelines on transmissible spongiform encephalopathies, or TSE, and bovine spongiform encephalopathy, BSE. Their focus is on international harmonization, protecting public health, ensuring the safe use of animal materials, and preventing disease worldwide. They recommend sourcing animals from low-risk countries, avoiding tissues with high infectivity, applying validated manufacturing controls, and maintaining traceability throughout the process. These guidelines play a crucial role in aligning regulations globally, especially helping developing countries keep standards strong and consistent. When it comes to sourcing in pharmaceuticals, regulatory guidelines are clear. Manufacturers should prioritize suppliers from countries with negligible BSE risk. This classification isn't just a label. It directly impacts whether a supplier gets approved or not. The World Organization for Animal Health, or WOAH, categorizes countries into 3 risk levels: negligible, controlled, and undetermined. Each reflects how much risk there is around BSE, or mad cow disease. Understanding these categories helps us manage compliance and keep supply chains safe. Let's take a closer look at international GMP and risk management requirements. ICH Q9 guides us through quality risk management, helping us assess risks scientifically, evaluate suppliers carefully, and develop strong strategies to reduce those risks. Then, PIC SGMP sets clear expectations around traceability, change control, supplier qualification, and documentation. One key principle stands out: Whenever there's a change in supplier, country of origin, or animal source, we must perform a thorough impact assessment. This keeps quality and safety front and center. Let's break down how we calculate the total risk score. We add up the individual risk factors. In this example, that's 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2, which gives us a total of 12. A score this high means we're dealing with high-risk material. Because of that, additional controls are necessary, and we should consider alternative sourcing to reduce potential hazards. This example shows how each parameter contributes to the overall risk assessment. Let's look at an example of supplier qualification compliance. Here, we have 40 total suppliers who provide animal origin materials. Out of those, 36 have valid SEP or TSE documentation, which is crucial for safety and quality. To find the compliance rate, we divide compliant suppliers by the total, then multiply by 100. That gives us 90% compliance, a solid result. But it also means a few suppliers still need attention and remediation to meet standards. When it comes to essential regulatory documentation, there are a few key categories we need to keep in mind. First, the required documents, things like TSE and BSE declarations, SEP certificates, supplier questionnaires, country of origin certificates, traceability records, and detailed manufacturing process descriptions. Then, there are GMP documentation expectations. These include keeping records current, controlling documents carefully, conducting periodic reviews, and ensuring everything is audit-ready. Finally, audits tend to focus on traceability, supplier qualification, change management, and risk assessments. These areas are where compliance really gets tested. When regulatory authorities spot issues, the consequences can be serious. We're talking about warning letters, import alerts, product rejection, audit observations, and even delays in market authorization. These aren't just minor bumps, they can disrupt business and trust. Common deficiencies often include missing TSE declarations, expired certificates, unknown animal sources, poor change control, and incomplete supplier audits. Each of these points highlights gaps in compliance, traceability, risk management, or good manufacturing practices. Staying ahead means understanding these risks clearly. When it comes to managing risk, we rely on a set of clear strategies across 4 key areas. First, supplier controls, making sure we work only with approved suppliers, conducting regular audits, and establishing solid quality agreements. Then, material controls, verifying sources, tracking materials through traceability systems, and confirming certifications. Next, process controls, managing changes carefully, performing risk assessments, and reviewing documentation thoroughly. Finally, organizational controls, training our people, promoting good manufacturing practices, and staying sharp on regulatory updates. Together, these keep risk in check. Let's look at a real-world example from a vaccine manufacturer. During a regulatory inspection, they found incomplete documentation related to bovine serum used in cell culture. Digging deeper, it turned out the supplier had changed the serum's country of origin, but no updated risk assessment was done. Plus, the SEP renewal was overdue. To fix this, they qualified a new supplier, updated the risk assessment, strengthened change control, and provided extra training. In the end, they restored compliance and closed the audit observations successfully. This slide brings together the key global guidelines that shape how we manage risks related to transmissible spongiform encephalopathies, or TSEs. These frameworks, from the EMA and FDA to WHO and WOAH, work together to create a consistent, science-based approach. At the heart of these guidelines is patient safety, backed by rigorous risk assessment, clear traceability, and supplier qualification. To truly comply, we need strong quality systems, thorough documentation, and a proactive mindset that stays ahead of regulatory changes worldwide. That brings us to the end. For any further support, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Thank you for your time and attention. It's been a pleasure sharing this with you.